Yo, what's up guys? We got a monster skill balancing modification and improvement. Well, improvement. Yes, so you probably already read this. You probably already seen the videos of like Sean B, Jew Bagel, Childish already made this video on it. I'm not necessarily just gonna read through the whole thing. I'm more of like gonna review it based on what I think should be changed or not be changed and that kind of stuff. So I assume you already read this, but I'm just gonna give my like 2 cents on it. If is it actually as bad as people say, or but also looking at like, okay, what kind of things could be improved to maybe whatever. Are they gonna listen to this? I don't know, but either how, community reactions are pretty funny, so we're gonna look at that in the end as well. Why not? So first off, we have Kinki. Kinki is reduced for the counter attacks that it only counterattacks if it's been hit less than 15%, which I think is fair. The units that kind of tend to counter Kinki counter it a little bit better now. If you're still gonna like draft in a full team of supports into Kinki, he's still gonna be really good. So, or like multi-hitters, that kind of stuff. Like Okeanos will still be countered by Kinki. Ryu will still be countered by Kinki. So I think this is a fair nerf, and I don't think it is too much. Some people would argue that you would have to change his mechanic to get him more fair, but I think I kind of like his mechanic. You have to draft according, but it's not as OP as before, and it's also not that great for arena defense anymore, which like before in arena defense he was really difficult as well. Then next one we have Nephthys, which has a slight nerf. I'm not sure where that one came from. Sure, Nephthys is a pretty good unit. Does this make Nephthys immediately useless? No, but it just makes Nephthys really good at her first turn CC, but the moment it gets more into a bruiser fight, she's gonna be a lot worse. That's mainly the gist of this. Then again, mostly Nephthys is used paired with some other CC-ish kind of unit, so there's probably some debuff that you can silence stuff. However, if there's nothing, you would have to silence, which is less likely to happen then. Then with the Ryu, which has a chance reduced for 30 to 20%, which I think is a really stupid nerf. I don't even own a Ryu. I don't even play him. I don't own him. But I think this is a really stupid nerf, because you just make a unit very inconsistent. And with that said, it makes a unit pretty useless. If a unit is inconsistent, it's pretty much useless. And this is how you nerf a unit to shit. I'm not sure how bad this is going to be, but I feel like this is a pretty bad nerf. What could have been a decent nerf is just his passive, one up the cooldown so he doesn't have his passive every other turn, and he can legit 1v1 mollies and other whatever stuff he shouldn't be 1v1ing. I think he was in a decent spot for like, sure, doing a lot of damage, sure, the speed lead, sure, stripping a lot and pushing back. But I think what made him really OP in like adding too much to his kit was this passive, where he could 1v1 some kind of things that he shouldn't be 1v1 in my opinion. But removing his strip chance just makes it like an inconsistent stripper, which means you cannot run this as a main stripper anymore if it's that inconsistent, which kind of makes the unit useless. Then for Ken, the same thing was used, which it's literally not even the same skill, so why do you have to do that for Ken as well? Ken was already not that great, but well, he was decent, but it was not that mainly picked. So yeah, okay. Then we have the light striker, which also has this change that has like an increase of 7% damage. I've read some comments about this, and the people that actually, like a lot of people that say like, oh, that's so bad for light striker users, and the people that actually own a light striker are like, no, I actually like, I wish the damage was more than 7%. Like 7% is not much, but they don't use light striker or light Ryu as a stripper. They use it as a damage dealer. Like if they use it, which is not used that much, they use it as a damage dealer, and they actually feel like it's lacking damage. They use it in kind of cleave, and it feels like lacking damage. Actually, adding more damage, 7% is fucking nothing again. But if this was like a significant amount, then I think there's not a single light Ryu user that would be like, ooh, boo-hoo, my strip that I don't care that much about. They care about the S3, which doesn't need that much setup because it already has an attack buff by itself. So that is said, extra damage should have been more, and then Shadow Claw for Ken does 4% more damage as well. Well, actually, this is an insane multiplier already. Like, try it out. A rage attack, crit damage attack Ryu hitting on an armor break while you have attack buff is gonna one-shot freaking everything. It's very strong of a skill already. So yeah, they add more damage to that. So I think if people start using Ken, it has to be more like damagey-ish, and it cannot really be the stripper kind of thing. It used to be, I guess. Too bad, whatever. But yeah, I think they kind of nerfed this to shit. I don't know why they did that. I think there was, sure, it needed like a slight change, but I don't think it needed that much. Also, funny thing is, like, people are saying like we've been paying close attention to the users' opinions, and then they're like, how can they say this and nerf Water Ryu? Is like, yeah, because your opinion is not everyone's opinion. So, yeah, but do they listen to everyone? I don't know, but that's the thing. At some point, you just got so many opinions based on the bias of what kind of units you have, and everyone is gonna be like, why is my LD not buffed? Or why is my LD still shit? So that for that example. But still, then we have a whole bunch of other units, which we'll get to in a second, that are also still pretty shit. And yeah. So we have the Water Bison, which now it will destroy max HP based on the enemy's lost HP. So let's say he already lost like 70% of the HP. The Bison just slaps you in the face, then you lose 35% of like destroyed HP. I'm not sure whether if he slaps you in the face once and then he slaps you twice because of a proc, does that mean 100% of your lost HP? So let's say Molong S3 70%, he slaps you twice, you lose 70% HP like destroyed. I am not sure. Is it necessarily really great? I am not sure either. Maybe for siege offense here and there, I'm not sure. If this would be a net 4 unit, it would be really good against like some of those teams that really based on like destroying units, like what people use tractors for example, like just slowly destroying the unit and then killing it. But yeah, then we have the Fire Ryu, erases the attack power condition to do the cleansing hit. I think that's a fine upgrade. Some people were like, oh, it's already an OP unit. It's an OP unit if you luck sec. It's still a 50% check for glancing. And legit, my Fire Striker, my Fire Striker has been soloed by an FMAP. So yeah, this unit is really good if you're luck sacking. It's the same as saying like, oh, Antares is the best unit in the game. It's like, yeah, if it procs every turn, it's good. But if it doesn't, yeah. So I think this is kind of okay that you can actually bolt it on like speed, crit damage, attack rather than have to go like triple attack or something. But yeah, I think he will be okay-ish. Then we have this thing, which is a worse version of a Daphnis, which cannot land a glancing hit right now, which is kind of beneficial, but still you can miss the strip and then the whole combo does nothing. So I don't think, and also his damage is really mediocre, so I don't think we will see Kashmir or the Wind Ryu happen that much. Then we have Occult Girl, so Firosh, you're gonna be happy with this one, pretty much the only one that uses her. Attack bar increase, which is pretty significant, I would say. I think this, yeah, it's a pretty decent unit for what it is. Then we have King Joe, as called by Felicity, also known as Chow, which has the buff. Well, it's been buffed like 1600 times already, but I think this one kind of makes sense because before he recovers and he cleanses at the end of the turn, which is really stupid. I always said do it before the turn, which then makes sense because then it can solo, for example, a Gianna, because the bomb land, but you have a chance to cleanse that bomb before the or like cleanse the armor break or cleanse the attack debuff or cleanse the glancing hit and then heal. So I think this passive actually makes him a bit more viable. Is he going to be used that much? I'm not sure, but it's a step in the good direction. Then we have Theomars, and Theomars is trying to be pushed back into siege meta, I guess. But still, if it's 10 turns or 4 turns, it doesn't really matter too much. Like, he gets Endure and he dies. Like, it just saves it. Like, if this was 2 turns, it would be good. But 10 or 4, I think it's kind of the same. To be honest. It's not going to change that much. Meiho Wang resistant from 5 to 10, which is actually pretty nice because a lot of people, especially in lower ranks, I think in lower ranks, a lot of people don't really run that much accuracy, and therefore Mega Wang might actually do pretty well against like Sierras, which are like 40 to 60-ish Aki in lower ranks. So for that set, I think it might be pretty decent. Then we have Karma, and they did like something to Karma, which I think it is still a 2-turn silence which you can ignore, and that just makes it really bad of a skill. It doesn't add too much to it. Like if Okeanos gets this skill, then well, I either stun the whole team and I win on that anyway, or it's longer cooldown and you can reset it with the Ganymede, also doesn't matter, or you just need to land it one time and you're not planning to use that skill afterwards that fast anyways at all. So I don't feel like these units are gonna be that good. Issue with Omniogis, their S1 is terrible throughout the whole family. Their S1 is freaking terrible. All of the Omniogis are actually bad, so if you change the S1, you actually buff the whole family. Could have been a lot better. But also Karma. I think Karma should be doing 25% damage if you use your S1. Something like that. It's one of those like simple changes that you can choose. Okay, do I take 25% damage or do I take 50% damage? That's your choice. So something like that. Could be less, maybe 20, I don't know. But this, like a cooldown increase, I don't know. So then we have the wind one, which has recover, attack bar, decreases your cooldown of Karma by 1 turn for each time the enemy uses a skill, which I think this is more likely to happen than this. Some people said like, oh, maybe it's a nerf. Well, to be honest, everyone's gonna ignore Karma. Legit, everyone is going to ignore Karma and treat it as a freaking silence. That's all. For people, it's legit going to be like, oh, that unit is silenced for 2 turns. Cool. Can even be resisted. But yeah, recovers the attack bar for 25% and reduces the cooldown of Karma. Now, I don't really remember the exact cooldown of Karma. I think it's 3 turns or 2 turns. But yeah, it is possible that if people use like skills, you can spread out quite some Karmas like throughout. The moment they have immunity, the moment they just have units that ignore it, I don't think Karma is going to do that much. Can it be used niche here and there? Maybe, but I don't think it's that good. Same for Tomu, the fire one, or the dark one, Domon. I don't think they're gonna be that good. Can they be used like here and there a little bit? Maybe. So then we have the Miyang, changes recovery, HP, and change to recover the HP even from damage dealt from counter attacks, which I think is decent. You can stack like recovery is pretty nice because you can stack that with like more artifacts with recovery and that kind of stuff. So it's not bad. Is it necessarily good? No, not really. Jack-o'-lantern, we have the chilling, which is going to recover 10% of your HP from each stolen beneficial effect, which is decent. Does he really need it? I'm not sure. I'm also not sure which one they're like, what kind of like things they're addressing to kind of counter. Is this countering like vigor teams, or is this countering, is this like net for siege meta countering kind of stuff? Like, I'm pretty sure you don't want to use this into like a Shina Martina team. But I guess it's like kind of like countering vigor meta in Siege. Then we have the wind one, which is probably kind of countering Carcano meta in Siege. And I think most of the net 4s are kind of like towards like, let's see what we can do to counter net 4 meta in Siege, which which I think is not actually that bad for like a balanced patch, to be honest. So the water one does, the water one is going to give you more attack bar to like lost HP and that kind of stuff. So I think it's decent. Wind one guaranteed as a crit. Sure. I think the dark one is the most interesting one because you can ignore Triana. So maybe you can be able like, this skill also always crits. So you can go like super high crit damage, attack, crit damage, attack, full rage, whatever, and maybe one-shot a Carcano. So I think the dark one is pretty good. It was also HOH before, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was HOH before. And therefore, I think the dark one is pretty... And it also has the Relentless Strike. I think the dark one is pretty going to be like a counter in Siege, which is going to be used by a lot. Then we have the Dull Seams and Poison Masters, which increase attack damage. Yeah, whatever. Water one actually does a decent amount of damage, if I'm not mistaken, because he has the passive that he does extra damage. Increases more damage. Yeah, some more damage. Is he gonna be that good? I don't know. I don't know. Most of these, like to be honest, I barely looked at the Poison Masters or the Delcines because for me they were just one of those forgotten families that is just absolutely trashed by the whole family. I barely even know what they do. No one really cares about them unless they suddenly get really OP. But from what I read here, they don't really get that OP. Jubega was saying that the Phi one mostly needed a buff and the Phi one was not addressed. Well, to be honest, all of them are shit. So yeah, I'm also not really seeing like how this could make them suddenly be really good or like 4-star meta or anything. Then we have Cowgirls. More damage to inflict continuous damage or more chance to inflict continuous damage. Sure, Fire defeat Wild Dog. Sure, the Incarnate, a lot of people were like, no, my dot team. No, your dot team is fine. Apparently, this is just the unawakened version or the not 2.8 version. So, guys, don't worry, it's not that bad. It's pretty much just making the non-awakened version a kind of like stepping stone towards the awakened version. That it does something in the same direction, but not exactly the same thing as good. So that's pretty much just it. And then we have the Cannon Girl, which people were like, yay, Christina's still not buff. Well, Christina is a meme by now, which is just like, I don't know why they don't just do something, but I'm pretty sure if they do something people don't like it, that it's good enough. But is Christina really the worst net 5 in the game? Probably, but even with artifact damage right now, I'm not sure. But yeah, this thing is not really that useful. And the buff also is also not that big of a thing, to be honest. So yeah, not addressing Christina. Okay, whatever. Then we have Occult Girls, which Laura actually gets attack speed, which is pretty decent, I'd say, but 25 egg is something she could also use, but probably people prefer speed over egg anyhow. But I think it's not bad. I think it's not bad. Is she gonna be a consistent stripper because of this? No. So it's still not that crazy good. Then we have the Light Phoenix, which is going resistance to egg, which makes a lot of sense because people had issues with ruining this unit with enough damage, still having egg, and not enough speed, and also boop, the speed is also improved. So actually, if you're a Elunia, is it Elonia, whatever her name is, Light Phoenix user, then this is a pretty good upgrade for you. And you're one of the few that can say like, hey, my LD got buffed, and all of the other people are gonna be like, Trinity bad, this bad, that bad, this bad, that bad. Yeah, they're all bad. We know. 50% of the LD Net 5 suck. We know. They only address 1 or 2 every balance patch, so you just gotta be lucky on that. And then half of them that are actually addressed are still like, not that great. So, yep. I guess we gotta wait longer for that. Then we have some errors where the AI sucked. Well, doesn't the AI suck for a lot of things? Whatever. Yeah, that's about it. So, in my opinion, this is an okay-ish balance patch if we did balance patches like these every month. So, they want to do balance patches per RTA season, which in my opinion makes sense. But then having this kind of balance patch as a reflection that you don't want to change too much kind of makes sense. But then the issue, why not make the seasons shorter? Or, well, that's not the issue, that's the solution. If you make the seasons shorter, you can do these kind of balance patches more often. Right? So if they would do this like every month, after every month and a half, every 2 months even, like currently we're at like what, 3 months, 3.5 months for a balance patch. If we would have these balance patches, let's say 1.5 months, 2 months tops, these kind of balance patches, just changing a few things, sure will be cool, because we're gonna see a different meta in RTA, because Ryu is gonna be shit, Jeogun is gonna be absolute first pick, like through the roof. Jeogun should have been addressed and a little bit nerfed. Just a simple thing, like don't go like, oh, let's remove his S2 or something. Like, no, chill. If you nerf units, don't nerf into shit like you did with Ryu here. Still, I don't even own the unit. I play against the unit. I'm literally supporting my enemies by saying, don't nerf this unit too hard. I don't know, man. But if you would just nerf a unit, nerf it like Jeogun, for example, remove the speed buff. S3 remove the speed buff, or make it one turn attack buff, one turn speed buff, so you don't like constantly keep lapping and that kind of small changes. Not like removing like 1/3 of his activation rate on the only thing that like really matters as is the core kit. Yeah, okay. So that's my take on this balance patch. For most cases, I'm kind of surprised about, let's say, 3 things mainly. One, Water Ryu has been hit really hard and therefore probably useless. Jeogun is not being nerfed, and I just expect a slight nerf, not this kind of like big ass nerf. And 3, people are gonna hate me for this, and maybe they liked the video on that because they did it with the last time I actually suggested like balance changes. Lulu is not addressed. Lulu, if you legit think Lulu is not OP and dumb as hell, Lulu is better than an LD5, or like not LD, than a Water Net 5. Lulu is 10 times better than Ariel. Legit. If Ariel had Lulu's kit, I would kind of understand. It's like, oh, it's a good Net 5. Lulu is a 2-star. Okay, it's a 2-star, but whatever. It's a pretty dumb unit to be that OP. Like, legit, if it's been picked that much, even in the Legend tournament being banned and that kind of stuff, Lulu has a really high win rate just for being dumb. Like, legit, Lulu is like 10% HP. Press S2, full HP. What, why? Oh, you also have a cleansing immunity. Wait, what? Lulu is just really crazy. And if you disagree with me on that, well, sure, fine. I don't care. But I think Lulu should have a slight tuning of maybe a little bit different rates in like how much she heals, whatever it is, I don't know. Or just some cooldown increases or like increases. But that's about it. Like the units that I'm addressing, I just want a slight nerf. I don't want them to like be chopped off the block like right away. Like for example, Kinki I think is a decent slight nerf. Like sure, the units that he counters like AoE units like Okeanos, Water Ryu, Carnal, that kind of stuff, he's still gonna counter, he's still gonna be annoying. Unity that have like a little bit more struggle with doing enough damage, he's not gonna like 1v4 like every like damage dealer out there. Like if he's armor broke, a Vanessa will not proc his passive. A Triana will probably do enough damage to not proc his passive. But a lot of like the multi-hits, like if you just S1 with a Praha, Juno, that kind of stuff, everything will still counter. So I think that's a decent nerf. Maybe I would have said like go for the in-between, the 20%. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Slight changes, slight nerfs. But those kind of slight changes, slight nerfs are better to do with faster pace of balance patches. So if you say like, okay, we only want to do balance patches at the end of a season, make the seasons. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, sure, maybe you have to give more rewards. Ooh, okay, maybe you have to make more skins. Well, if that's the biggest issue, I don't know, man. It's one skin per season. Like, if you really need 4 months to create one cool skin, like, sure, these skins we're getting right now is pretty dope. But I don't think it takes that much resources that they cannot handle it to make a skin, like, every month. It's just one family. It's not like if they bring a skin pack, they do it for what, like 3-4 families right away. So yeah, I think they could actually make the seasons a lot shorter. But that's my take on it. Let's look at Reddit, how Reddit reacted. Okay, let's say Reddit has a few posts that people don't like this balance patch. Let's go through a few of them. Rip Trinity, Christina, Sean, Grogan, The Babe, Bella, Sylvia, Theor, Bale, Windmage. Well, to be honest, Windmage, these units are too new. They're never really gonna do that in the first. Like, they always wait one balance patch and then the one after they address, like, units which were released, like, 2 balance patches behind. So, didn't expect anything on the mages, to be honest. So, with that said, so this one is, like, mostly, like, Omniogis, which they're focusing on. But, yeah, I don't know. But then again, like all of these LD5s, I'm currently on the point I don't really expect them to address like all LD5s like at the same time. Or like go for a lot of them. And to be honest, not gonna lie, Bella's pretty decent, Sylvia is pretty used. Theor maybe not, but Bale is also like kind of used in whatever he does as a cleave. So half of these units are actually not that bad, and in the end everyone just wants their units buffed and see units they don't have nerfed. This balance patch is trash. Change my mind. Well, I don't think I have to change your mind. I think legit this balance patch wouldn't be that trash if the iterations of the balance patches were faster. because just 4 months, it's too long. It's simply too long. But like for the content itself, besides like the 3 things I mentioned before, I don't think it's that bad. Like they're addressing some siege things, like Arcanos being used too much. Let's give some counters to that. Water Ryu is being used too much. Well, let's nerf him to shit. Don't really agree, but we're getting somewhere. So okay, this one is just showing a bunch of units that are shit. I think it's kind of out of context because this one is... If you're showing stuff that's shit, then okay, this one is shit. These are, I guess, shit. These are... Hey, they missed the wind one because the wind one's actually used. Funny. These, yeah, kind of shit. These 2, shit, but this one didn't expect. And then this one is also shit? I don't know. This is the OP one. Kind of missed it. Banging head against brick wall. Yep. Kinki's passive. Ken got nerfed because of more Oberon first time. Fair. Fair. Oh yeah, this was something saying like Jeogun dodging all the nerfs. Oh yeah, he's getting hit. I expected nothing and still I'm let down. Then you were expecting something. If you're let down, you were expecting something. Skill balance, cannon girl, the other cannon girls. Why does... I don't even own a Christina, but I'm at the point like I don't even... Christina's just a forgotten unit. Like who cares? Fuck it. Just delete the unit, never think about it again, it's fine. We're never gonna see a balance patch that addresses her, but I don't care, it's just a meme unit. Incorporate the difference between the issues. Shit and the balance patch. Same picture. Yeah, it's pretty, yeah. Not nerfing Jeogun has to be the biggest joke in balance patch, but hey, at least we have another LD 5 stripper with insane base speed. It's... I guess it's a fair statement. Like, let's say we at least have another one, but there's also one that's been nerfed, I guess. So, well, Jeogun is maybe not nerfed, but Water Ryu. Funny thing is, how big is the likelihood that this guy does have a Water Ryu, but does not have a Jeogun? It's kind of the thing. Come to us after balance match player base. You lost a turn, but you did nothing. I love this meme. It's like, my work is done here. Trinity! Yeah, Trinity's still shit. How? Yeah, it's also like, how difficult is it to just give this unit like more damage? Just make it attack type, done. It's not rocket science. The balance patch is actually amazing. The costs, yeah. People to quit because of the balance patch, I don't know. Would you really quit because of a balance patch, to be honest? Like, I would quit over other reasons than a balance patch. Like, you don't enjoy the game anymore. And the game not being balanced is your reason that you... Or like... how to say this, like, properly. You just don't like the units you currently have. That's mainly the thing. That's just mainly the thing, because the units you have, you assume are shit. Maybe your runes are shit. Maybe you're shit. Oh, maybe I'm gonna get dislikes because I'm shit. But whatever, like, is balance patching really the reason to quit? I do not know. I do not know. For some people, maybe it is. I do not know. But then again, if they would really nerf your like specific unit to shit, that would make you quit. Or if they buff everyone else but not yours, you would also quit. So I think they are, like I said again, and I've been saying a bunch of times, they are addressing like slight things to not go like super crazy on like changes, and therefore people either cannot keep up because of resources or whatever that stuff. But a little bit faster on the balance changes wouldn't be bad. Also, it would be pretty cool if they actually had like a voting pool that people could vote on stuff. But then again, if everyone can vote on stuff, how do you say it? People are gonna vote for like really stupid stuff because they just own that thing rather than, yeah. In the end, is like, is one person's opinion that kind of knows what he's doing, not saying or claiming I know what I'm doing, or they know what they're doing, or you know what you're doing. But let's say a smart person claiming that knows what he's doing, is that opinion valued more, or is just the opinion of everyone in the room valued more? I do not know. Difficult one. Democracy or not? Does that work for balance matches? I do not know. I do not know. Me as W, a real reason to stop playing. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna stop playing this game right now because the balance patch was shit. People are like, oh, another season of Jeogun. Jeogun literally has been buffed for 1 season, and people were crying for a Jeogun buff before. You see what I mean? Are you getting my point? Like, people are like, oh my god, Jeogun is so OP, so OP. It's like, people were pretty much crying for a Jeogun buff, then he got buffed, and then he was too strong, and then people were like, oh my god, why is he not nerfed? It's literally like next patch Christina gets like really good, and then oh, Christina's so good, and then the one after is like, why is Christina not nerfed? It's in the end, it's never good. It's never good. Contest also. Yeah. Already seen. Terrible balance patches drives everyone to Lost Arteria. I'm not sure if they're necessarily driving people to Lost Arteria. Sure, they're trying to do it with like implementing the events and that kind of stuff, but is it necessarily driving them to it? I guess so. Okay, just an image. Buffing Cannon Girls. Yeah, it's kind of like this is one of those nasty backstabs. Like, you're buffing Cannon Girls, but not the one everyone's complaining about. Like, legit, even if you don't agree, just give it something. Like, just to not have people complain. This is literally like, hey, I'm gonna flip you off, and I'm gonna buff the others because I don't give a shit about what you think. So, just to get people a little bit happy, like at some point you just also like, let's say you disagree, but to keep people happy, it's just smart to some point like agree just to keep people happy. So just give them a dumb shit buff to Christina. People like, oh, Christina, I'm good right now. Like, you just buff whatever is a meme and people are happy. Like, in the end, like, you make this game not for you to enjoy the game, but for the people that want to play to enjoy the game. So if you just give them what they want, yeah, I guess. Unless people don't really know what they want. Well, people kind of know what they want, but we have too many people with too many builds and too many different units, and therefore it's whatever. But yeah. Paid close attention to reuser. Yeah, at some point this is just getting a copy paste, man. At some point, you might as well not put it there because people are just gonna feel more annoyed by it. Legit, remove this because people are just gonna get annoyed by it because people don't agree with the balance changes. What will come to us do? Balance patch, it hurt itself in confusion. Yeah. Theomars after update. No, it's not that great. Your name on the list. No, it's not. I'm the one that manages the balance patch extra. Yeah, I wonder if they actually have like a team that actually talks to like players and that kind of stuff. And if like, let's assume they played our game. I guess they played our game. I'm pretty sure they played a game. Otherwise, they wouldn't come up with toxic stuff as putting mollies next to carbines in TY Hell. So they kind of know their mechanics. Let's say they know their mechanics. Wouldn't it still be smart to talk with some people about stuff and like how things work? Fun fact is, we, or like in the Western community, it's often said like, oh, they only listen to the Korean community. Don't worry, Korean community says like they only listen to the Western community, so in the end they don't listen to anyone. Why do the Korean community say that they only listen to the Western community? Because we have a bigger community than them, and therefore they feel they're not heard. We feel like we're not heard because we only think the Koreans get it, and the Koreans think only we get it, and in the end no one's heard, and they just do whatever. So that's kind of an issue. So it would be good if they just have some like interaction with some people that, like, I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, just go for like your Shambi, your Jubego, or me, Child is like the influencers that, like the influence got to say like what the balance patch should be. No, I don't think that's a good approach as well. But just have some people, maybe like a beta server, maybe like whatever. So yeah. This is how Comptos chooses. This reminds me of like the South Park episode where they like cut off the head of a chicken, let him walk around in like some lottery thing, and the one where he drops that is like what they're gonna do. Yeah, kind of. I heard if you leave 1-star reviews on the App Store, it's the way to go. I'm not sure if that is the way to go, but I'm also not sure what is the way to go. So, small balance patches with minimal impact. Why not do it more often? Exactly. Just do it more often. At some point, you tune things, then you be like, okay, it's too much. Tune it down, blah blah. You can go like back and forth a little bit, but also if you do this and you might like over nerf a unit and they put like resources into it and that kind of stuff, just give them an option like, okay, I want to pull out the devilmons. Simple as that. Same thing you did for a Kaki, Pull out the devilmons. Just have that option more often. It's not that difficult. I think that would be really good. Tattoo has not been nerfed. Yes, Tattoo has not been nerfed for people that are like upvote on this for sure. I should have upvoted on the last one as well. Well, in the end, like the thing is, at some point we have so many units, you cannot address everything at the same time. It's just, you're gonna make things really messy. So sure, you could have a balance patch of like 50 different things. Do you also want to do it just before SWC? I'm not sure. But are they gonna do this similar like ish balance patch of like not that much after SWC? Probably. So yeah, I do feel like they can do like more fast iterations of like balance patches in general. Or give an explanation. That would also be nice. Just give an explanation. They kind of do tend to say it's like, oh, we want to give it like for smart people to find out how stuff works. Therefore, they never really give like a list of like, hey, this artifact works like this and this. So for people to find it out. Well, then you have people like me. I have to find out for other people and then just make videos on it. Yay, you can make videos. But yeah, I don't know. For some things, just a little bit of explanation, a little bit of transparency, it really helps out. Like, transparency is always good. At least I think so. Behold, perfect balance. Yeah, this thing is... we seen him in the Legend Tournament today. He's pretty OP. The 3 months balance patches was a complete joke. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a complete joke, but it's just too slow. Like, get this kind of balance patch once a month, scooch. Hit them where it hurts, use the reviews. Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm kind of on the point, like, I'm not really sure what would help to get out, like, the message to counters. Like, I'm pretty sure they read Reddit. I'm pretty sure they watch videos. They watch, like, the podcast, they watch these kind of things. They actually send those kind of things higher up. What they do with it, then, I'm not too sure, but, like, we can address a lot of those things. And user reviews, I'm not sure if that would really... like, would it help to like improve the game to get less players towards the game? Because that's kind of what you're doing. Like, you help the game by pretty much stabbing the game, making it bleed, and hope it self heals better. And well, it either bleeds to death or then it self heals. I don't know which one is gonna be good for that. Pimple 0, Blackhead 0. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, I downloaded the game, I did the event, and I didn't play, like, a single match after that I got my event done. I'm not gonna lie. It's just not my game. Like, it's so different than... like, I like progression games, and that game is not really that much progression, it's just, like, constant battle, that kind of stuff. I don't know, not my thing. Alrighty, so this one... yeah, I do think with all of like they get the message. I'm pretty sure they read Reddit, they read like they watch these kind of videos. Maybe they even watch this video. Hi, Contes. How are you doing? They watch these kind of videos and it's gonna be out there. They're gonna notice like, oh, Hank, I think we fucked up. It's like, why did we fuck up? It's like, I think we gave him shit. It's like, how did you know this? I'm like, I think we have a lot of shit on our hands right now. To be honest, I think the shittiest job you can have right now is account to a support worker, like replying to tickets. Because your ticket inbox is gonna be a lot of fun with a lot of shit right now. And the fun thing about the ticket system, they always have to reply to every fucking ticket. Even if they just reply like the dumbest shit ever or a copy-paste story, they still have to open it, they have to look at it, they have to read it, they have to spend some time in it, they give you a copy-paste and they have to go to the next. So yeah, that's the reason why some tickets get more like left over, because they don't they don't care at some point if they get too much shit on their plate. Not for my eyes. Yeah. Worst balance patch ever. Don't we say that with every balance patch? So is it progressively getting worse, or are we just that long? Is the last balance patch that long ago that we forgot about it? I'm not sure. I feel like we're saying this with everyone. Increase cooldown to mark. No, you don't even increase. That doesn't change shit. Like, increasing that doesn't change shit. You just have to remove the speed buff. That's the thing. Like, some people, they want like a change, and I'm gonna have a different opinion. Kantos is gonna have a different opinion. Jambi is gonna have a different opinion. Jubeg is gonna have a different opinion. But this kind of buff does absolutely nothing. Like sure, or like this kind of nerf. Like sure, it's a nerf. Like woohoo. But then you cannot reuse your S3 as much. Like ooh, boohoo. Ganymede, you can still do it. Probably if you use this kind of unit, you probably win within like one rotation of this skill anyway. So yeah, this doesn't do too much. Chiwu, my time will come soon. Very true. Chiwu is actually a pretty good unit into. You would have to make a will Chiwu, but the moment they don't have a tuned, what's it called, Jeogun, Jeogun will use his S3. Chiwu is gonna whop your attack bars because of Chiwu S3. And now there's not that much Water Ryu. Water Ryu used to counter Chiwu, so Chiwu actually gets better. Interesting, interesting. Cowgirl, quick fire. Oh yeah, that's the balance special. So yeah, same like infrequently. I think I kind of had the gist of it. Like, yeah, so more like understanding of like, hey, what are they doing? What are you going to? And I'm not sure if one-star reviews are the only way of getting hurt. I think we are all spamming all of these kind of things. I think that kind of helps as well. I think my video is also way too long. No one's gonna watch this. Okay. So infrequent, I think that's the same thing I had before. Something needs to change. Yeah, screwing over everyone's dot team. And then your first comment is like, take a breath before you read. Yeah. Yeah, I think people take conclusions too fast as well. I mean, yeah, that's that as well. Or normal awakening, yes. Don't spend a dime, rate 1. This is unacceptable. Yeah, same as what. Game is going downhill. Is it going downhill though? Like, look at how many quality of life things we have. Like, we're literally bitching about like balance patch, but check in the last year how many quality of life things we had. This game has been like so much improved like compared to last year. If you were playing like in current state, you take a time machine, you play like 2 years ago, and you're like, wait, I have to manually farm, and I cannot auto like sell multiple runes at the same time. And oh wait, what? So we are actually going in a good direction with quality of life, but you have one department of quality of life. They're doing a really good job. They're like freaking A class on like Gucci shit, and then you have your balance team, and they're just like. Oh wait, it's our time of the month again. Shit, we have to come up with something. Yeah, they don't like this unit. Let's nerf that one to shit, and let's do a little bit on that, and then back to. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I feel like they can be pushed a little bit harder. Like maybe a little bit of backhand. To make them work faster and just get these kind of balance patches. Like, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think this balance patch is that bad if it would be like monthly. Or a month and a half. Is that a thing? I don't know. And then, okay, sure, like I have a few more pointers that I would like to see change, but if we get these kind of balance patches more often, at some point you can actually address like a lot of units that were shit. Because if you do this once every 3 months, there's gonna be so many new units released, you're gonna forget about way too many units, and people's little toys and babies are gonna forget about, which people don't like. So if you do this more often, then at some point it's gonna be good, and at some point it's gonna be bad, I guess. But then you need the thing that you can pull out the devilmons again if it's getting like a shit, for example. Yeah, legit this. This is exactly what I talked about earlier. Like, there's gonna be one LD that's gonna be hella buffed, and they're gonna be like, I'm silent. Like, if I speak out right now, I'm gonna get raged on. So the only opinions you find right now on the internet are people like, I hate this shit. Well, there's people that are gonna be like, yo, this is legit. I like this one. This is the best balance patch for me because I have Eludia. But they're not gonna speak out their mind because people are gonna like massacre them. So yeah, I love this meme. Very accurate, very accurate. Canon girls change, even if they change like something similar to her, what they changed to the other Canon girls, they might as well not, because it's barely a change. You wouldn't be happy if they changed something similar to that. Recent years I've felt like how far behind SW is. The devs don't care. Trust me, go to Go to Raid Shadow Legends Reddit. Probably there they say the devs don't care. Go to Epic 7 Reddit, they probably say the devs don't care there. They always say that. It's really common. Go to World of Warcraft, they say the Blizzard developers don't care. Go to RuneScape, they probably say that Jagex doesn't care. Go to MapleStory, they probably say Nexon doesn't care. It's a cycle. It just, yeah. You can go to another game, but they're gonna be like the same complaints. New players, start having fun. Veterans is a neat part you don't. Yeah. If that's what you feel like. Well, if you're not having fun, don't play. Like, legit. If you don't feel like having fun, and fun could be one of many things. Fun could be just hanging around with your guildie and just talking to them and like having a good time. But if you're not having fun at all, why are you playing? Like, legit. If you're doing something for your leisure time, which doesn't give you any form of like happiness, joy, whatever, might as well not do it. Thank you for service. Oh, that's the end of the season page, which is always really good. A lot of people like that stuff. Keep it the good work. Spread, nerf, Jeogun to... If... I'm pretty sure this used to be the slogan. Wait. Shit. Wait, I think you should, if you go to January, it would be Buff Jeogun 2021. Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, well, fair. I'm pretty sure Jeogun at the start of this year was still shit. Was he? I think so. Really out of touch. They didn't even pretend to care. Yeah, the thing what kind of like gives the middle finger idea for me is them just not addressing stuff that people complain about. At some point, like even if you disagree with the complaining people, just to make them happy, you just kind of agree, right? If someone is constantly nagging, like, but it's still a client of yours. It's like, oh, I really want this button on this website blue, and you're like, man, making that button blue is the most retarded thing you can do. But they really want that blue button, and at some point like, hey, well, let's make your button blue, let's see what happens. And then they're gonna be like, yeah, make it back to gray. Like, I don't like this blue button. Can you please make it back to gray? And then you're gonna be like, wow, now I have to change the stupid button to gray again. At least they're happy for a little bit. At least they saw they were dumb. Well, they don't see they were dumb. Not saying we are dumb, but it is something that just like needs a little bit of interaction back and forth. Just buff Christina a bit, make her OP, and then people are gonna be like, nerf Christina, and then you nerf her a bit, and then she's somewhere in between. And you do that like on a monthly basis. We're Gucci. Man, this video is way too long. Either how, guys, I think I'm gonna end it with this. Probably have to edit some out of it, but guys, thanks for watching, and see you later.